smoking gun here, because what could be underfoot that would bring such a thing about if we already established that it is the voter who then must be held to a higher standard in terms of who is selected, and not necessarily the minority of the folks who are being selected in the first place. It's the majority who make the decision about the people who are going to come in and govern over people and resources that then this attention ought to be paid to. But for some reason, we are looking at these few individuals who are chosen, and it's shenanigans of some. And that's why I go back to that point, that it was somebody feeling a certain type of way who has then said, well,
I got something.
I have something for you, and I'm in the position where I can legislate and raise a bill. And in this case, an amendment bill to say that, okay, thank you. You then, after 2 terms, you will sit out in the cold for 5 years. Now, if it had everything to do with the Constitution, then perhaps one would say, okay, this makes sense. But it does sound as though, as we come to this, that it's possible that somebody has a personal vendetta that they're then using constitutionalism to fight.
So you think it might be an elitist fight?
No, I think that it's just 2 folks, and it's possible that it could be extrapolated to the rest of the people who have a thing to put to each other. I think that it's very possible that somebody got ticked off at somebody else, or somebody wants to show somebody else something and has taken it to the floor. It's not the first time it's happened. It's probably not going to be the last time, because it's ammunition that you have in the chamber to then be able to stick it to somebody else. Unfortunately, absolutely.
But you see, constitution is sometimes an elite consensus. So if they go through the process, let me ask you, if they go through the process, they get 2/3. It's a long process in the Senate. Then it has to go to National Assembly. Then they go through first reading, 90 days, second reading, third reading, and they get the 2/3. It has passed. And then it goes to the president to sign, because it does not require referendum. It's one of those issues that is not listed under Article 255 that require referendum. Somebody might make some argument, but I don't see. So it can get away without referendum. So if it has gone through the legal process, it has ticked all the right boxes, it has been passed, then do you think court should have another chance of just saying, I don't like this bill?
No, but what I'm saying is this, that I think that these mediums are used in the direction where it may sound like I'm being facetious, but are unnecessary. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we saw bills that demanded of the legislature and those who spend money to insist that what you tell people, for example, in a manifesto, that you must rally your soldiers to ensure that the money is allocated for those things and that it is actually done. When is the last time that we saw somebody standing up on the floor of the House sponsoring a bill that ensured that the money you put towards a budget for, I don't know, education is seen to the last coin? When did somebody stand up on the floor and say, I propose a bill today that says 70 billion shillings over the last 5 years did not actually go to schools? I insist that until and unless we find where that 70 billion shillings went to, not another coin will be spent on something else. Why don't we see bills like this? But this one we see that, somebody pissed somebody off somewhere. And so now let us put a bill that says this person can no longer be in a position of leadership for 5 years. My issue here is that there's misdirected energy away from the things that will actually make a difference in the country.
But let me play the devil's advocate. We have what is called the holy anger. So not all anger are bad. Not that every time institutions fight, sometime the Wananchi benefit. Sometime. So their fight is not necessarily bad for the people.
No, but it doesn't help anybody anyway.
No, if I'm mad at you, then I'll make sure you don't steal. At least from the beginning. I'm mad at you. I cannot drink your tea. I'm checking you very hard to see where you have taken the money. Then who benefits through that? So is this anger? Can this anger by itself maybe anger against corruption, maybe anger against the failure of devolution.
Oh, come on, Dr. Ojwang. That is rarely the fight that's
Isn't that a good anger?
It's a good anger, but if that was the case, it would be great. But it just doesn't exist.
But that's a theological question. You cannot you cannot be
How
so
many
sure.
times do people, I mean, look at this, it's very clear that somebody is obviously trying to stop another somebody from being in the political sphere for a while. It is not all governors.
Not all political
It is
sphere.
not.
They can run for.
Not all but there's a
They
reason.
can run for president.
But there's a reason why they're saying, "Oh, come on."
Yeah.
There's a reason
What
why
do you
they're
mean,
saying
come on? They
this
qualify.
person who was governor, we don't want them to run for Senate. Why didn't you say
for
this?
Senate and National Assembly?
Yes.
You know, I didn't understand also national.
Exactly.
Assembly, yeah.
So why didn't they say this person
It's
who
not fit
has
to run for office.
anywhere?
Any office.
Because they are
Or
trying
occupy any public office.
Exactly.
because they're trying to balance, according to the bill, isn't it? They're trying to balance. The Constitution is saying rights can be limited, but you must look for the least restrictive way of limiting it. It must be for good intention. And so the question then we have raised it here is this the least restrictive way of balancing those rights, assuming that it is fair to say, when you are here and we are looking at your case, we might look at your case, not that we are looking, we might look at your case. It will not augur well. But is this the least restrictive way
of doing it?
Could there be other ways, including amending your standing order and saying, if somebody comes from the county, you cannot chair a park, no thank you. You cannot be in these committees because your issue might rise here. So there could be least restrictive way. But somebody must use the tools they have. So if legislation is the tool I have, they are saying if you have an hammer, everything will be a nail. So if I have legislation, then I will. And at the end of the day, how do I get the fear of God in these governors who have refused to come and answer important question on how they have used Wananchi?
Sure. So maybe this is the hammer that was going to nail the thing and say, perhaps then you guys need to come and answer questions about how you spend resources. That there's always this was a means to an end, and perhaps the end has been achieved. This is why we talk, for us to then be able to look deeper into some of these things and to understand what exactly is going on.